Welcome back to Fixing My Faith. I'm Vern Houle, and today we're going to be talking about post-traumatic stress disorder. And the abbreviation for that is PTSD. PTSD. It's a mental health condition that's triggered by a terrifying event. We think of people that have went through wars and experienced traumatic events, and or even seeing it. If you're in a war and you've seen things happen. And symptoms may include flashbacks, nightmares, severe anxiety, as well as uncontrollable thoughts about the event. And we're going to take a look at this post-traumatic stress disorder, and we're going to see if that could be a syndrome or a disorder that we get as XJWs coming out, or perhaps Jehovah's Witnesses carry this stress. And we're going to talk about this, but let's first of all educate ourselves together. I went to the Mental Health America site, and they are the biggest. They have helped. They're showing 31 million, and they have a really good program. I'm going to show you their program, and online it's just Mental Health America. That's all you have to plug in, and you'll go right there. So we're looking at their philosophy, and let's just look at this together. It says, when we think about cancer, heart disease, or diabetes, we don't wait years to treat them. We start way before stage 4. And stage 4, of course, in cancer is at critical stage just before death. We begin with prevention. And when people are in the first stage of those diseases and have a persistent cough or high blood pressure, high blood sugar, then the healthcare, they try immediately to find a solution so we can live longer. Well, this is what we should be doing when people have serious mental illnesses. So when we first begin to experience symptoms such as we're a loss of sleep, or feeling tired for no reason, feeling low or feeling anxious, or here's one, hearing voices. So if you're hearing voices inside your head, this could be post-traumatic stress. So, and I know of ones inside the organization, Jehovah's Witnesses, that have frequently had problems with hearing voices. And I know of ones that have even went to the point of going to the hospital and using electric shock therapy to shock their brains to get rid of this. And these are Jehovah's Witnesses. So we're going to take a look at this post-traumatic stress and see what can be done. So here's what it says: is if we ignore these things, that the loss of sleep and all the things that are coming upon us as Jehovah's Witnesses and as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, it's going to take a toll on us. So during most of these years, most people still have support and allow them to succeed: home, family, friends, school, and work. So people can often recover quickly and live full, productive lives. Well, this is the problem being a Jehovah's Witness or an ex-Jehovah's Witness, is when we leave, we are cut off all of the friends and everything. And that's what's causing the stress. So we're going to go to the mental health, right back to their site. And if you key into their site, this is what it looks like. All you have to do here, there's a couple of bars here, find help. And then you say get screened. So what they have is a screening process. You go through the screening process, and that's what we're doing together here. We're going to take this mental health test, and it's these guys do not ask. Well, you can give them more information, but you don't have to. And so I'm always cautious about giving my personal information over the internet. And so you don't have to. But if you wanted to move further down the ropes, so let's say you identify that you do have a problem, well, you can just keep going down on this channel, and you can get help. They will get you right in touch with mental health therapists. So when you take the mental health test to see if you have a problem, you come to this menu here, and it's there's all kinds of tests: depression tests, anxiety tests, eating disorder tests. There's all kinds of tests. So the test we're going to take is PTSD PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. We're going to click on that. And then there's a series of test questions. So I'm just going to wet my tongue there. Sometimes things happen to people that are unusually or especially frightening, horrible, or traumatic. For example, a serious accident or fire, a physical or sexual assault or abuse. So when we think of the CSA cases coming out of the Jehovah's Witnesses, here's one of the telltale signs, right? So an earthquake or a flood, a war, seeing someone be killed or seriously injured, having a loved one die through homicide or suicide. Have you ever experienced this kind of event? So, like some in ex-Jehovah, some that have come out have experienced these sexual disorders. Um, Seeing someone seriously killed or injured, having a loved one die through. See, we haven't seen those things, so maybe we're good. Well, here, let's go through the questions. Have you ever experienced this kind of event? If yes, please answer the question below. In the past month, have you had nightmares about the events or thoughts about the events when you did not want to? So let's say you're an XJW, and I'll go back 10 years to when I was just walked out the Kingdom Hall doors. And I just walked out, and I went and stayed out at the farm with my mom, and did I have nightmares? I'm going to say yes. My mind was very disturbed. I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing. I was questioning myself, and I didn't have the knowledge. I just walked out because I was disgruntled. So yes, I had lots of when you go to sleep, disquieting thoughts. You can't sleep. Lots of that. Number two, try hard not to think about the events or went out of your way to avoid situations that reminded you of the events. Yes. So in my case, I walked out of the Kingdom Hall and I didn't want anything to do with JWs anymore. I was done with it. And so I went out of my way to avoid these events. And I was always thinking about it. It was always in my mind. If I drove down the street and seen a JW in the side corner, it would always bother me. One time I even got out of my truck, parked it, went up to them, and I started questioning them on things. If you know this, what about this? And they all packed up and just left. I kind of felt a little embarrassed, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. And then number three, being constantly on guard, watchful, or easily startled. Absolutely. You ask my wife. She walks around the corner. I go like that. Why are you scaring me? I was just always on edge, and because I wasn't sure. Maybe the end's coming. We have all this Rutherford programming in our mind. I had not pulled that out. Didn't know how to. I didn't even know I had it in there. I just I didn't realize it that I had 30 years of indoctrination. So number four, felt numb or detached from people, activities, or your surroundings. I felt completely in a bubble. I felt I was in a separation between two worlds, and I didn't fit into either world. And it was a very detached and lonely time for me. So that's a big yes. Number five, felt guilty or unable to stop blaming yourself or others for the events or problems of the events that may have caused it. And absolutely, I just went through my mind all the people. I would replay the whole 30 years of my life in that organization, and I would single out all the people that messed me up. And I'd play that over and play that over, and until you're done with it. So it's the blame game is a hard one, and it's tough to get out. So I had a yes on all of those. If I go back 10 years, I had a yes on all of those. So we go next. Please take a moment to answer the following optional questions. So these are optionals. Your answers are totally anonymous. We won't be able to identify you based on this information. Your answers help us provide better information and support for people like you. You can answer as many or as few questions as you would like to. When you are done, scroll to the bottom of the survey and click Submit to receive your screening results. Are you taking this test for yourself or for someone else? So I'm taking it for myself. And you can put in all of this stuff. I didn't put my age in or nothing, and you don't have to. This is optional, remember. So like I said, I don't like putting stuff out there that I don't have to. So there's a lot of other screening tests online that we've seen, but then you have to put all your stuff in there, your email, and then they submit you the answers. I don't like that. Now they got my email. Now they're gonna send me junk mail, maybe. I don't know. We're always nervous. Remember, that's one of the signs. Okay, about your mental health, you can talk about it. Abused or violent. There's all kinds of loneliness or isolation is the one I would put. About your health, do you currently have health insurance? Yes or no? I don't. So then you go to your results, view your results. So we go to view your results. Your PTSD test score was positive. So I'm positive 10 years ago. So that's when I walked out the door. That's how I took this test. When I walked out the door of the Kingdom Hall, that's how I felt. So they talk about your score. You can get emailed results. You can take another test, your answers about your score, 5 out of 5. So you can look at your score. Current research suggests that the results of the PTSD should be considered positive if a patient answers yes to any 3 items. Click your answers above to see your score for each answer. So the test is a 4-item screen that was designed for the use in primary care and other medical settings, and is currently used to screen for PTSD in veterans, and so that's what they're using it for. So, folks, if this test was designed for veterans coming out of a war, then us as XJWs, I tested 5 out of 5 on this. Everyone checked yes. It's like coming out of a war, and that's what it's like to a lot of us XJWs coming out. It's like coming out of a war, and we don't realize it. So I'm going to go to my answers here. Now, here's the answers. We're going to review these. Now, you'll remember them, but we'll review them here. If I answer today, right now, today, and that's after doing a year's worth of research on Rutherford's, like getting down to the gritty of Russell and who he was as a person. And what this does, it fixes in our mind that these were all people that were running the organization. These weren't prophets. Russell threw out a lot of false dates. So now we identify these guys as false prophets. And then we undo all these layers. And it takes time. It takes research. Fortunately, on the XJW channel, you're going to see lots of activists like myself that are out there, and they'll break this down for you. You can pick and choose any channel, any subject that you want that you have questions to. But at any rate, today, do I have nightmares? No, absolutely not. Big no for number one. I go to bed at night, and I got my little wife over there. Hi, wifey. And we have a wonderful relationship today. Beautiful relationship. Number two, tried hard not to think about the events or went out of your way to avoid. I don't even think about the stuff, that old stuff, and I view it all different. Once we understand that all Jehovah's Witnesses are under a trance, I call it the Rutherford trance because that's where most of the information on today's organization comes from. And Nor, but Rutherford I like. We'll be talking about him soon. But absolutely not. I don't think about these things unless I'm thinking about a skit, and it's funny. But number three, being constantly on guard, watchful, or easily startled. No, now we it's a big game to jump up on each other. It's not a big deal. Number four, felt numb, detached from people or activities or your surroundings. Well, I'm on this channel talking to thousands of people, and absolutely not. So now I can use all of my experience coming out of the cult and what it felt like to have PTSD and to be under all that stress, write a book about it, and now give lectures on it. So I'm in a good place, I feel, right now. Number five, felt guilty or unable to stop blaming yourself or others. Not at all. And like I say, once we get out of the trance, we realize that the people to blame are all dead. Rutherford, he was a genius. He invented this religion fictional, and he made people believe it was real. And the only thing that the religion was not able to withstand was what you and I are on today, the internet. All of these religions of former days were designed for the paperback and to have preachers up there. And we didn't have internet and we didn't have cell phones. So people went to the church to get spiritual guidance. But now, today, the internet has done away with all the churches, all the religions. And it really puts us in a good place when we step outside of all religions and we undo all of the shackles that religion holds us into. You see, religion puts all of us in a cage, and each religion it's a different kind of a cage. It has different locks. The cages are the same. You're just locked up. And there's different locks within each religion that hold you within their cage of belief. And that's what religion is. Organized religion is today. Now, religion is a belief. We can have a belief outside of religion. So now we're outside of religion. We've stepped outside of all organized religion, and we're in this place where we respect all the holy books. We respect all people on earth, and we love all people on earth. And when we get to that place, it's a good place. And then we can now expand our horizons even further. And for everyone, it's different. Some people might explore gardening or something real. When I got out of the JW religion, I learned the whole solar industry. I learned everything about solar systems. So now I can go off grid and I can put my own solar system in. So as we get out of religion and we undo those shackles, religion had us trapped. Now we can expand on our thinking, and we can fill our head with new information that you and I go online, and we can pick and choose, and we don't have to follow a person or a religion. We can find truths everywhere, and we can teach our children, our families, all online. So these are my answers on how to get out of post-traumatic stress. It takes a bit of work and it takes some time, but if we don't do it, then we get to stage 4 of that sickness, and then we get really sick, and perhaps it affects us. So for me, what happened, I had a heart attack while I was in the religion. I was under so much stress. And it was post-traumatic stress is what we were dealing with how that religion's run. It puts everyone, it's like everyone are soldiers. And it's no wonder we're comparing to war-torn people coming out of a war. Because when you go into a Jehovah's Witness religion, you're like a soldier and you're expected to perform. And we push ourselves beyond the limit. They don't take a Sabbath. They don't take a rest day. And on Sundays and Saturdays, they're out there pounding the streets. And I would push myself every day. And I would try to do 30 hours a month, working full time. And my job, I was an entrepreneur. So a lot of times I had to work late, and I had to, but at any rate, I would try to put 30 hours a month. I felt a good soldier should be able to put 30 hours a month in. And today, I guess that's auxiliary pioneering. So it's changed. But we got to be careful, because for me, I had a heart attack inside, and I had a heart attack after I got out too. 2 heart attacks because of this stress. It will take a toll on us. And now I have high blood pressure. I have to take pills every day. And for everyone, it's different. And once we get rid of this traumatic stress, I believe then our bodies can start to heal, because now we're not running circles all over inside our minds and burning ourselves up. So folks, this is probably the most important part of this whole journey, is learning about post-traumatic stress syndrome and how we test positive. And I could do this test and test positive within the religion. So I feel for everyone. What we're going to try to do on this channel, is get some kind of a helpline going. And there are help. So we recommend that you take this test, you go down and you can get help. And I think the more that the Mental Health America, Mental Health Canada, they're all connected. The more they know about us and this religion, the more that there's help that can come in. And we're hoping to tie a program into something like this. So that's what we're working on. And we're asking you guys as the audience, and if there's anybody out there that's in the medical industry, that can help this community. We need a little bit of help, and we need a hotline and some way of people just casually calling in so that they can get some help with this. Because if we can catch it in stage 1, we can help people. Stage 4, you're getting critical. I was in stage 4, and after 30 years of being in a cult, it takes a toll on your body, on your life. My whole family split up, and it was a mess. So yes, we do need help. And I think the first stage is recognizing it ourselves. Isn't that what they say about alcoholism and other things? The first stage is just recognizing that I'm an alcoholic. So the first stage here is recognizing that I have post traumatic stress syndrome called PTSD. Nothing scary. It just means I came out of a war and now I have to rehabilitate. And it's possible. And then once we undo all of that stuff, that's those memories in our mind, then we can find joy, love, and we can get rid of the anger. And that's what I found in my life. So, folks, look into this. It's serious. But until next time, keep living your life with love. Bye for now.